you're eating clean, you're doing all the right things, showing up daily, weekly, and monthly, getting the things done, but you're plateauing. You're not changing. Your body fat percentage, it's not coming down, and the muscle mass isn't going up. In this video, I'm going to show you how to take this down and build this up. In this video today, we're going to go through some real life problems, some real things, not that I found on Google, not that AI told me to tell you in this video. These are real life examples and common things that come up with men that I work with that we've helped them through. And the amazing thing to see is when people go from this place of being stuck to making progress in the direction that they want to towards their goals. That's such an exciting process. So I can't help but share these things with you in hopes that you can implement some of them into your life and get the progress that you want to get. So let's crack in. Now, before we get too far into the video, a warm welcome to you. My name is Johnny Salmon. Welcome to the channel. If you're not already a subscriber, make sure you press the button below. If you get value out of something that you hear in the video or you think it might be helpful for someone, I'd love to hear what that specific thing was in the comments below. I'll make sure I get back to you. And I just love finding out what actually helps people. Because usually when I personally watch 10 or 20 minute segment of something, I don't retain the entire thing. There's usually one little gold nugget of information that I can take from that learning and implement it. And so I hope that by you spending your valuable time and watching this content, you'll find that little gold nugget that will help you on your journey. Maybe you're trying to lose fat. Maybe you're trying to build muscle. Maybe you're just trying to get your brain dialed in, get your mental real estate in a better position so that you can function better, so that you can perform higher, and maybe you can show up for the people in your world, be it family or colleagues, better. So whatever it is, like I said, press subscribe, let's crack in. So the first thing we're going to cover in this video is being in a maintenance surplus. Now that might sound like a really strange thing because people will often talk about calorie deficits, calorie surplus, or calorie maintenance. You might think, what's a maintenance surplus? Well, what that is, quite literally, is you thinking that you're eating the right amount of food and you thinking that what you're eating is what you need to be eating to maintain your weight. But in actual fact, you're in a maintenance surplus. So what does that mean? Quite literally, what it means is that you're eating maintenance surplus. So you're consuming just slightly higher than what you need to be to maintain your weight, which if you look back over the last 6, 12, 24 months, may explain why this stuff has started showing up in far more areas than you ever wanted it to be. Now, let me share with you how simple it is to inadvertently do that. You can inadvertently slide in 100 or 200 extra calories per meal per day. And so that would easily give you, say, ballpark, 300 to 500 extra calories, which across the week is 3,500 calories because we've just done 500 times 7, it's 3,500. The problem with doing that is that A, you don't notice it, and B, it adds up really quickly. There is approximately 7,700 calories in a kilo of body fat. So if you're someone that's eating that 3,500 extra every week, and we multiply that by 2, that's 7,000 extra calories across a fortnight. So I don't want to dig too far into the maths of everything and make this video really complex. Now let's just take a bit of an average of that, okay? Because you may not do that every day and every week, every month for an entire year. But like I said, looking back over the last 6, 12, 24 months, maybe you can reflect on what you've been eating, what your body's been doing, how your clothes are fitting, and you can start to see how, wow, I've gained a little bit of weight. That may be something that you're just inadvertently doing. Now, it doesn't matter if it's chicken breast, peanut butter, chocolate, ice cream, or vegetables. If you are continually over-consuming all the time, you're going to gain weight. It's as simple as that. So if you've never been through a process or a phase in your life where you're tracking your caloric intake, where you're using something like MyFitnessPal to track all the foods that you're eating, I would encourage you to do it for a period of time because it lets you grab food, measure it, put it on a plate, and eyeball it. And eventually you can move yourself into a process where you can eyeball your meals. You can intuitively eat. But people talk to me about intuitive eating. They say, mate, I know how to eat. I know how much I'm eating. Meanwhile, I've been watching them gain weight for the last 6 months. And so if you haven't done it before, you just can't do it. You don't understand how much you're consuming. How do I know that? With absolute confidence, because I was in that boat, even as a fitness professional, even as a coach in the past, when I was a bit stubborn and I thought that I knew everything. A mentor of mine once shared with me that the greatest barrier to learning is knowing. And so what that speaks to is dropping the ego, not thinking that we know it all, like I had to do, and learn the lessons of measuring and eyeballing food correctly. And now I'm in that phase where I know a little bit more. And that's what I try and get my clients to do. We don't want to be tracking food obsessively for our entire lives. We want to just be learning and being able to do it intuitively. But if you haven't done the tracking process, that's a great first step. Let's go to the next thing. The next thing I see is people chasing intensity over consistency. And an example of this is going like really hard for 2 weeks. One weekend having this marvelous idea that you're going to create this new goal and this completely new lifestyle. You journal everything, you throw out all the food, you go to the shops and you buy all the stuff and you do some meal prep, right? You go like real hard. And then you do it for 2 weeks and life hits. Something goes wrong at work. One of the kids gets sick. The wife has some health challenges. Something happens. We all go through mountains and valleys, right? The ups and downs of life. But if you have a plan that relies on you being like really intense all the time to maintain your results, it will fail. And I can say that confidently because I've done that once again. And I've had so many clients go through that process before they've come to me and we've gotten them their baseline stuff dialed in that they can really actually do consistently over a long period of time. So if you're someone that's going back to the same old cycles over and over and over, and you keep having those conversations with your partner, with yourself, with colleagues at work, and you're talking about how you've got this great plan and you need a reset, and you're going through this cycle all the time where it's like start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. Like I said, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks you go ghost mode because it's all too much. They're signs that what you're doing simply isn't working. You can't keep bashing your head against the wall thinking that that same approach is going to get you anywhere because it probably didn't last time. I'm not saying that to make you sound silly and me sound awesome. I'm saying that because I literally have done it and I have had clients do it so many times, not just before they were working with me either. Some of them have tried it whilst we've been working together, and it takes that coaching eye and that person that's sometimes not the partner or the friend, but the person that you've put in your world to speak to, building you a really good plan to say, hey, I can see those old things creeping in. We need to pivot. We need to go back to the simplicity of what we've built because the only thing we're focusing on is getting you from point A to point B. And at the moment, you're just making up new goals. Like I said, if you're someone that's going off track all the time, you've got no systems, you've got no structure, and you're getting no progress, maybe it's time to take a step back, build out some simple habits that you can do consistently, and don't get too complex. Remember, simplicity scales, complexity fails every time. The next one is not letting a bad lunch turn into a bad week. I've seen this before. The downhill negative spiral of saying, oh, I've had a burger and chips, so I might as well have some beers tonight, and then I might as well have some ice cream. Then you feel like crap when you wake up the next day, so you have a big fatty breakfast that's twice the size of what you normally would. And this negative spiral starts, and you go into Monday feeling like crap because of everything you've consumed over the last 24, 36, maybe 48 hours. These binge weekends. If you're really, really stressed out during the week and you need the binging to bring you down from what's happened during the week, that's a whole separate issue. And they're things that I will help coach my clients through as well, is getting better at managing imbalance. So I don't think it's about getting balance and just ridding your life of all this stress. Stress is healthy because we can respond to stress in ways where we can change what we're doing. If things weren't challenging, you probably wouldn't be growing, just like in the gym, just like with work or your business. But going with this all or nothing attitude, where if you've done one thing wrong, it's just like, stuff it, I'm just going to do whatever I want. We need to get rid of that thinking. On the weekend, I went out for a burger and chips. Next day, got back to my normal diet. Nothing changed with my body. Nothing changed with the way I think and feel. But if I have that, feel bad or feel guilty, and then just keep doing it over and over and over, it's going to lead to progress in the wrong direction to what I want for my goals. So the shift is not being perfect, it's being consistent. It's getting a simple plan together that you can, like I said before, do really consistently for a long period of time. Next one is not defining what success actually looks like to you, not having a clear goal. So I mentioned before very briefly, point A, point B. You don't know what point B even looks like for you. You're at point A now, which is like your current reality. So if you want to get somewhere, you need to know exactly where that is, down to the most finite, granular. So many people train without targets. They eat food without knowing how much they need to consume. Let me use the example of a plane. when a plane leaves the airport, there's been so much preparation before that. They know how long it's going to take. They know how much fuel it's going to take. They've got a prediction on what the weather's going to be like. They know the pilot that's going to be flying it. They know how many seats are on the plane. They sell the seats. You know, there's all these things that I could go on for ages about it, but you get my drift. There's all this preparation, and then they leave point A and they fly to point B. That entire process is reverse engineered to get to here at a certain time on a certain day with a certain outcome. Yeah, you with me? So if that didn't happen, if they didn't plan that down to those granular things and details, the flight wouldn't happen, okay? Which is sometimes why flights get cancelled. But my point is, without knowing what the journey looks like, it doesn't happen, right? And that's why when you go to book flights, there's specific times on specific days with specific seats left. So my point is, you need a clearly defined plan to get you from point A to point B. And without it, you're flying blind. Now, if you don't have a plan and you have no idea what you're doing and you don't know what steps to take, maybe you've watched this video and I hope you did get a gold nugget out of it. But for some of you, you're an overconsumer of information and you lack the implementation. Now I can help with that. In the show notes below, if you would like to speak with me personally, one-on-one, there's a link to a 15-minute conversation. It's just a strategy call. And you can tell me some of the things that came up during this call where you think, dude, I'm just not doing that really well at all and I'm not getting progress. And we can have a conversation about what your next steps may look like. And I would love to help you with that. So if you'd like to take that up, it's complimentary, there's no charge. Click the link below, book in a 15-minute call. Also, in the show notes, maybe you've watched this, maybe you've been following me for a little while and you're like, I need to get going. I need to pull the trigger and take action on getting done what I've been talking about getting done for years, which is how a lot of clients come to me. They say, mate, I've just been putting this off for way too long. I feel crap, I look crap, I'm not in the position I want to be in, and I need to grow and learn and actually hit that goal and get to point B. So the first link's the 15-minute call one. If you're someone that just wants to get started and get some coaching help, the link below that will give you all the information you need about the CXO Movement, which is my online coaching program, which is smashing results for guys every week, every month, every year. So I'd love you to check out those if either of those interest you. So for some of you, you're just really, really lazy and you're not doing the things you need to do to stay in shape. But these things that I've been talking about in this video, they're for the people that are like having a crack and trying things, but just not getting anywhere, not moving the needle, not, like I said, losing fat, not gaining muscle. You're kind of just stuck. If you didn't pick up anything, press restart. Go and listen to something, because these are genuine lessons that I've taken from my own journey and from the journey of plenty of clients. And that's what I do in all these videos. I'm taking real life lessons. And soon I'm going to do some videos on some actual case studies on some of the guys that have gotten results and how they got them, where they were, what we did, what the plan building looked like, and then what they implemented and what results they got. So you can look forward to those. And like I said, if you're not subscribed already, press the button so you don't miss any of those upcoming videos, and have a great day. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Peace.